I have bought hundreds of properties over the past several years directly from home sellers, sitting at their kitchen table, signing the contract, and buying their house. In this video, I'm going to show you how to talk to home sellers. So I'm sitting here at a winery that I'm part owner of. We're getting ready to have a team meeting, a team get together, but I wanted to shoot this quick video to tell you how to talk to home sellers because it's extremely important. If you can talk directly to a home seller, connect with them, that's where you get your best deals. Yeah, you can go out and talk to real estate agents and wholesalers, and we preach that, but if you can talk directly to the person that owns the property, you'll get the best deal. All right, before I go over the points and tips to dealing directly with a home seller, I want to ask you to please subscribe to the channel, like it, and comment. We're actually doing a competition from now until the end of the year. So 12/31/2020, at the beginning of January, we're going to draw a name of somebody that has commented, and we're going to have them out to our office. If you live locally in St. Louis, you can drive on out. If you live farther away, you're more than welcome to drive or fly out, but we're going to host you all day in our office. We're going to take you out to lunch. You're going to be able to let you have access to any part of our team, whether it be our property management company, our wholesalers, our dispositions, our marketing, our talk about landlording, growing rentals, whatever you want to know about real estate. We are going to give you a full day's access to myself, Lucas, and Brian. So please make sure you comment on this video and every single video we put out, and then hopefully we can choose your name. First tip in dealing with a home seller is getting the appointment, letting them allow you into their house. So when you talk to them over the phone, make sure you listen. Make sure you connect with them. Make sure you ask them about their family, about their life, about why they're calling. Don't just say, how many bedrooms, how many bathrooms, when can I be there? You need to connect with them. You need to break down the barriers. No one likes dealing with salesmen. I don't know if you know it or not, but that's how they view you when you walk in their house, as a salesman. The old cliche, used car salesman, you do not want to be that person. You want to appear as least like a salesman or saleswoman as possible. So when you're on the phone, ask questions, listen, get as many details as you can about the house so you kind of know if it's a deal or not. But if you don't get every little detail, that's okay. You'll get that on the appointment. If you're okay with going on appointments, a lot of appointments to try and get a buy, then you don't need as much information about the house. Some people want to know every little detail to decide whether they go on the appointment or not. Those people definitely turn off some home sellers a little bit. So just be open and ask questions and listen and connect as best as possible. So once you get the appointment, you got to understand that their guard's back up. You probably hopefully got their guard down on the initial call, but once you set the appointment and go back and actually meet them at the house, their guard's gonna be back up. So when you walk in the door, greet them nicely, warmly. Don't be too aggressive, but try to mirror them as best as possible. If they talk fast like this, talk fast like this. If they talk slow and are a little more laid back, people like people that are like themselves. So just do your best to mirror them as best as possible and have the same mannerisms, same talk speed, same cadence that they have as best as possible. I know that can be kind of hard, but it's best to, if somebody's really slow going, it's not good for you to be talking a mile a minute. So just do your best to mirror them as best as possible. They'll like that and they'll want to connect with you a little bit more. And when you're walking through the house, ask questions, look around. When I walk through a house, I'm looking for dogs, looking for pictures of kids, looking for pictures of a guy holding a golf club on a golf course, looking for things to connect with them about. Most likely, if you're going on an appointment, you live in the area or from the area, so you can talk about something local. I used to, I go to this restaurant down the street all the time or whatever. Just ask questions with them and get them to open up and get them to ask questions about. After you get some initial questions through, then you can kind of go a little bit deeper. Why are you selling? What's going on? And more than likely, there's going to be a pain point. So if someone's selling their house, there's either something wrong with the house usually, or something wrong with, something going on in their lives if they're going to sell to you at a discount. So sometimes that can be a touchy subject. So you can just kind of broach that subtly. Why are you selling the house? What's going on? And they may give you, I'm selling the house because of X, Y, and Z. And then at that point, you can show them what selling the house, how that can get them out of whatever situation is. Oh, you got a lien on your property, getting ready to foreclose on. Well, if I buy the house, you're not going to have any damage to your credit. Everything will be taken care of. I'll pay all the existing liens or the whatever back taxes, whatever it is, will be included in my offer, and I'll kind of get you out of this hole. So you're not just buying the house from them. You're not just giving them a check. You're not just giving them cash. That's what people want, but deep down they have some other desire, some other reason why they're selling the house. So if you can get to that, obviously they want the check. But if you say what the check's going to do for them, or what you're going to do with the house, or what you're going to, what you're going to do after the fact, that can really help them have a little more trust in you and realize, it's not just about the money. Because we buy a lot of houses where we're not the highest offer. So the only way we do that is by not having contingencies and things like that, but also by getting down to the deep core of the reason they're actually selling, not just the money. So a common house that we buy is, just a simple example is, dad passed away 10 years ago. Mom's been living here by herself for the past 10 years. She just kind of let it go. She hasn't been in the basement, in a year. She just doesn't do a whole lot to the house, doesn't keep it as updated. Her health has kind of slowly been going, and she just hasn't been taking care of the house. And the house hasn't been updated in 40 years. And you're talking to one of the daughters, and then there's 3 other siblings that all live across the country. So that's a lot of things that you'll find out when you talk to them, but it's important to know that, because it's important you can relate to them. You can talk to them about your siblings. You can talk about, oh, I know it's going to be pretty difficult for you to round everybody up, and it sounds like you're leading the show, and that's a lot on you to be, leading this and having to talk to your siblings and relay what's going on. Is there anything I can do to help make that easier on you? And I also kind of like to say, yeah, my siblings are wanting to get stuff out of the house. How long should I give them? And I say, if you give them 3 months, they're going to take 3 months to get the stuff out of the house. If you give them 3 weeks, they're going to take 3 weeks to get the stuff out of the house. So just stuff like that. You kind of give them pointers and connect, and just do your best to get to the heart of the story, the heart of the reason why they're selling. Another thing to consider when you're walking in the door at the very beginning is to ask them, are they the decision maker? Are you willing to sell your house today? I can't tell you how many times we thought we've had a contract bought. A handshake even, yes, we're good, I just need to run this by somebody, and then they shop it and somebody else buys for a couple dollars more. So the key thing is to say, are you the decision maker? Can you make the decision today? If I give you an offer that is acceptable to you and that works for me, win-win situation for both of us, are you able to sign today? Are you willing to sign today? And then a lot of times they can say, oh yeah, I am. And then towards the end of the conversation, you give them their offer, and they say, well, I need to talk to my wife. And I say, excuse me, sir, you mentioned at the beginning that you were willing to make the decision today, and you could make the decision today. Has something changed? Because you seem to like my offer. So that kind of thing, you can kind of poke holes in them putting walls back up and trying to keep you out. So that's a little bit of a tip. Make sure that they are the decision maker, and if they have to talk to somebody, I'll say, all right, I'll go outside, make a couple phone calls, come back in, you call your wife and talk to her. So just put them on the spot and hold them to the fact if they said they were the decision maker. I started this video standing up, and I sat down on purpose, not just because I didn't want to stand the whole time, but because when I present my offer, this is an important part of the buying process. Obviously, you have one piece of leverage when you walk in the house, and that is what your offer is going to be. I like to sit down. I'm a little taller, I'm 6'3". Even if you're not tall, it helps to sit down. It kind of diffuses the situation. I like to sit on the couch in the living room. I've even sat on the floor, sit on the kitchen table, sit on the back patio step, wherever. Sit down, take a deep breath, and there's a lot of different ways we're not going to go into in this video about how to present the offer. But whether you're going line by line on the rehab budget, or just here's my number and here's why, however you do that, everyone has their own style. Sit down, present the offer, diffuse situation, make yourself small so you're not overbearing, give them the offer, and shut up. You have, what is the old saying? One mouth and 2 ears. So make sure you listen throughout the whole conversation. Don't talk too much, but especially after you give the contractor. You're a little excited. A lot of times you'll say, here's the offer, here's why, can you sign today? You want to, here's my offer, here's why, and just sit back and let them take it in, judge by their reaction, see if they lean back, cross their arms, or just try to get a feel for what they're going to say next. Because lots of times they'll take a second to react. Sometimes like, oh no, right away, and obviously that's a different situation, but there's a lot of little nuances you can learn by shutting your mouth and listening. So selling your house is a huge deal. It's usually the largest asset that a seller has, and lots of times they're in a sticky situation, so the emotions are even higher. So you need to understand that you have to treat the other person like a human. You can't just say, I'm gonna call them on the phone and I'm gonna sign the contract in an hour. There's steps, there's processes that you need to take. You need to perfect those processes as you go. And the biggest thing is obviously watching videos, this video and videos like this, but just doing it and trying it. Understand you talk on the phone, that's a step. Go to the appointment, do your research, that's a step. Talk to them, do your analysis, give them the offer. If they don't accept on the spot, which we always shoot for, follow up. There's a lot of different steps that goes into it. So just understand that it's a process, It's something that you are going to master over time. It doesn't happen overnight, but you just got to get in the home and you got to treat them like a person, and you just got to do your best to be honest, upfront, and listen. So like I mentioned earlier, we would love you to subscribe to our channel, like it, comment. We're coming out with great content like this all the time. You watch this channel and I promise you will buy more houses at deeper discounts. Catch you on the next video. Selling your house is a big deal. It's not like you're selling a old deck of trading cards. That doesn't make sense.